Bills Chiefs. A lot of us at the start of the season anticipated this being the playoff AFC Championship preview. Well, now it's both teams fighting for their playoff rights. Today, I will discuss the key things to look out for in this pivotal matchup. Now with that, let's cut the chit chat and let's have some fun. Who would have thought that at the start of this NFL season, the 6-6 Buffalo Bills would be fighting for their playoff rights and the 8-4 Kansas City Chiefs would still be fighting for that number one seed. And if the Kansas City Chiefs lose this game, they're more than fighting for that number one seed. They will be fighting for the AFC West division. With that, I'm going to wrap my head around this game and give you guys my exact thoughts. But first, let's dive into the injury report for the Kansas City Chiefs because it is lengthy. And we got key inactives to talk about, and we'll start off with Drue Tranquill, Donovan Smith, and Isaiah Pacheco. They will be missing this big game, which will be huge for the Kansas City Chiefs, but let's talk about their replacements. And first and foremost, we'll start off with Donovan Smith. He will be replaced by Wanya Morris, the rookie, who saw time last week against the Green Bay Packers, and even though it started off shaky, he rebounded and he looked good. And hopefully he can have a great performance against the Buffalo Bills and help protect Patrick Mahomes' blind side. And one thing I would love to see coming from this game is he owns it. He becomes the left tackle, and he is a left tackle for the rest of this year because that would eliminate one of the needs for the Kansas City Chiefs looking into this offseason. So I'm hoping for a big game out of him. Now focusing in on the linebacking core, you look at Drue Tranquill, who is still in the concussion protocol. But if we can give a glimmering shine, a bright light, the Kansas City Chiefs are looking to activate and bring back Nick Bolton. So that is huge because last week, you saw the missed presence from both sides with Drue Tranquill and Nick Bolton missing and Jack Cochran filling that role. They were missing a leader of that secondary, of that linebacking core in whole, and it resulted in bad plays all over on the defense against the Green Bay Packers. So with Nick Bolton back, hopefully you see another boost of energy on that defense. And then, of course, probably the biggest blow of all, the grown man himself, Isaiah Pacheco, will be missing this game. And yes, Chiefs Kingdom, you probably aren't going to like it, but Reid announced that Clyde Edwards-Helaire, CEH, will be RB1 going into this game. Yes, it's going to be a woozy. But a lot of Chiefs Kingdom is focusing on the last time Clyde Edwards-Helaire played the Buffalo Bills, and the Chiefs focused run heavy. He had 24 rushes for 161 yards, and the Bills defense still lacks to stop the run. And honestly, this may be the last chance that Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets to prove he is a good running back in this league. So this is something to add to his resume, not just for the Kansas City Chiefs, but going into the offense next year. So I'm crossing my fingers that he has a good game because they're going to need every weapon they can getting out of this game. Now let's jump into this game and dissect it and zone into both sides of the ball. And we will start on the offense taking on this Buffalo Bills defense. And this Buffalo Bills defense is kind of similar to the Green Bay Packers defense, if not a little better. They cause pressures and sacks at a higher rate, and the secondary is eerily similar. So, does that mean we got to expect the same type of performance out of Patrick Mahomes and the boys? No. What I'm hoping is they execute a perfect game plan, and I hope this was a really, really good week of practice to where this team knows we've lost the last 3 of 5. We really are in jeopardy of losing the number one seed, and if the Broncos beat the Chargers, you are only a 1 game ahead of them, and then it's AFC West fight. The Chiefs do not want to be in that position. So I expect to see Mahomes and the boys show out. Doesn't mean I'm not concerned by any stretch of the means, because one thing I was really, really looking forward to in this game was Isaiah Pacheco taking on this Buffalo Bills defense, which is basically bottom tier, and he would have had another 100-yard game, I really believe. So with Clyde Edwards-Helaire filling that role, it's going to be interesting to see how Andy Reid and Nagy attack this Bills defense. Does he still focus on the run and involve the running backs, not just Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but also Jerick McKinnon, or does he go pass heavy? And that's what really concerns me. If he focuses on Mahomes, and Mahomes has 45 to 50 attempts, it's not the game Chiefs Kingdom wants to see, and I don't want to see it specifically in myself because this air game has not worked for the majority of the year. So I'm really, really hoping Clyde Edwards-Helaire has a good game. I'm not saying he's going to get 100 yards, but if he can get 60 yards on the ground and just neutralize that side of the ball to where they can still eat clock and then they can basically game manage to where Mahomes can dink and duck, and hopefully a deep play gets open. I know that's what we've been hoping for all year, but one of these has got to crack. You really, really have to believe it. And when you do focus on the weapons, you focus in on guys like Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice. And like I mentioned, the Bills have I would say a top 15 secondary. So it's going to be hard to get many plays past them, but the Chiefs have the weapons. They just need to execute, and it all starts up front. I know I sound like a broken record, but it really needs to be game planning and executing and making sure you put these players in the right position to succeed. Not impossible, but it is definitely a tough challenge ahead, and I expect Mahomes to get these boys ready because this is playoff football. You're in December. It is time to go. Now transitioning to the other side of the ball, the defense. And for back-to-back weeks, I've been disappointed. Now against the Raiders, they started off sluggish and bad, but then they rebounded and then they looked like themselves. Back-to-back weeks now against the Packers, a complete game where they just disappeared. They didn't show up. They didn't know they needed to fly into Lambeau, and it looked bad. They didn't cause pressures. They didn't get turnovers, and that is something that's got to change, specifically against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Because if you look at the Buffalo Bills in whole, you would be surprised statistically looking at the paper that they're 6-6. They excel on both sides of the balls. But the major alarming thing that realizes why the Buffalo Bills are 6-6 is turnovers. Josh Allen has 20 in himself. And if the Kansas City Chiefs can't force turnovers, which they have struggled this year, and you let Josh Allen dice them up, which he has been known to do, specifically in Arrowhead, this is going to be a long game. So Spags needs to have a perfect game plan. And it can't be the one that you had against Jordan Love and the Packers where you just let him sit in the pocket. I know it is a key concern that if you get after Josh Allen, he will break tackles and he will run and use his legs to fight for first down. Valid. But that doesn't mean to pressure him, because also when he is pressured, he will force throws. And when he does that, he can turn the ball over. And the Kansas City Chiefs, specifically in this game, need to get as many turnovers as they can to help this offense get in a groove, get in a rhythm, because man, if they don't, it's going to be a long day. And that's another scary part of this as well. And also for both sides of the ball, it's starting out quick, even on the defense. If the Bills get the ball first, shut them up. Last week against the Raiders and Packers, they put 7 points on their first drive, and then they followed up with another touchdown. The defense can't start off that sluggish and slow against the Bills because it's not going to be a comeback against them. This is a team literally fighting for their playoff lives at 6-6, and they do not want to be 6-7. And that's why this is going to be the first game this year that I really don't feel comfortable with the Kansas City Chiefs winning. So when you watch me on my live stream, I may be more chill and relaxed because I'm kind of coming to terms that they may lose this game. Now I know a lot of you will say, oh, you're not a real Chiefs fan because you think they're going to lose the game. I think that makes me a real Chiefs fan because I don't predict them to win every game. But with everything that's at task, with the injuries and with a team that is really fighting for their playoff lives, they're going to be hard to beat. Now, is it impossible? No. But if we see the same team that has showed up the last few weeks against the Kansas City Chiefs, it's going to be hard to win. So I expect Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, Patrick Mahomes, and the leaders of this team to get this team tightened up and ready to go, because if not, boy, we are going to have a long Sunday. But with that, Chiefs Kingdom, I'm going to cut this preview off. You let me know some things you're looking for coming this Sunday against the Buffalo Bills in this key, pivotal matchup that both teams are fighting for their playoff rights. With that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have not, please be sure to leave that big thumbs up and like this video. I'm checking out. Y'all take care. Peace.